Hello and welcome to a session on simple functions. So this is going to help you to do the exercises in section 1 of your textbook. And what I'd like you to do is, if you can open Hardware House Pty Limited file from your exercise data files that you have downloaded. So we need to open up Hardware House Pty Limited, and we're going to do a range of simple functions that will help you to do the exercises from section 1. Hope you've all opened the file. Let's start with some basic formatting functions. So we've got Hardware House Pty Limited paint product sales June-December 2007 listed here. What we can actually do is we can have this heading on the middle of this entire page, which is in the middle of A to J columns. Now what you would notice is that there are grid lines in between for each of the columns, and if we want to have this in the middle, we need to break through these grid lines, and the function that we use to break through these grid lines is called the merge and center function, which you will find on your home ribbon on the top middle. And you can notice here there's a function called merge and center. So you need to click on merge and center, and what it does is it has only allowed you to merge the heading of Hardware House Pty Limited. Because we had multiple rows, that's why we had this problem. So what we can do is, if we go back, so we do Control Z and just select each row one at a time. So we select A1 to J1. So these are the cell reference. When I say A1, I mean column A, row 1. When I say J1, I mean column J, row 1. So that's how the cell references are named. A1 to J1, we select that and now click on merge and center. Similarly, we'll do select column A2 to J2 and repeat the merge and center function, and let's do A3 to J3 and repeat the merge and center function. Now we've got these here, and what we can do is we can increase the font size of these, because this is the heading. Now there are two ways to increase the font size. You can either just go here and increase the font size to whatever you want, or if you want to see how big it gets, you can actually click on this icon here, which increases the font size. So if we click on this, we can increase to as much as we want. Now we may not want row 2 and 3 to be as big, so we can actually decrease it with the icon next to it. Okay, we can add a color to the 3 rows together. So this is the color function, fill color function. You can choose a color that you like. Okay, I'll choose purple. Now we can also have these headings bold, so we just select column A5, cell A5 to J5 and make that bold. Now these column headings are empty. The reason being, it needs you to add the months. So these are the products, and these are the products, and these would be the month of sales. So what you can do is start with June, and you can drag this across to December. Now if you double click on the top column, it will just make enough space for the headings to fit in. Likewise for December, and likewise for product code. Now the product code here, let's say, starts with 1250. Enter, or Control Enter. Now if we want to increase this product code by 1 at a time, if we just drag it, it will not increase it, it will keep it at 1250. However, if you press Control and drag, so press Control on your keyboard and drag it down, and see how that increases to 1265. So we've got a product code for each of those products there. Now in order to use the total function, we use the auto sum on the top right hand corner. So click on auto sum and click on sum and press Control Enter. When you press Control Enter, it keeps the cursor on the same cell rather than taking it to the next row. Once you've pressed Control Enter, we can use the fill handle to drag the totals down all the way so that it calculates the total for all the products. Now what you need to notice is there are 3 plus signs that you will notice when you hover your mouse here. There's this fat plus, and there is this thin plus, and there is this arrow plus. So the fill handle is the thin plus, which is this. You need to use this to drag this down, and we've got the totals for all the products. Likewise, we can do the totals for all the months underneath. So we select auto sum again, press Control Enter, and then we can drag it across. Now if you wanted, you could also give a $sign and to all these numbers here. So there are 2 ways to do it. One is you can either use the $sign symbol here on the home ribbon, or you can right click after making that selection, click on Format Cells, click on Currency, click on Symbol, and select the $sign and press OK. Now the difference would be in selecting $sign or currency in this fashion or by selecting it from the home ribbon is when you select the $sign from the Format Cells option, the $sign will appear just next to the number, as you can see here. However, if you selected the $sign through the home ribbon from here, it will appear far apart from the number somewhere here. So it will just not be next to the number. Okay, so this is probably a more preferred way of using it. So now we've got $signs with 2 decimal places across the board. What we can also do is we can make these totals as bold, and also the total heading here as bold. What you can also do is apply a border to these numbers underneath. Now if you click on this icon here, which is the bottom border, click here and you will find top and double bottom border. Click on top and double bottom border, and it will give you a border like this, which is for totals that we use. Once we've done this, what we can also do is have another column here which is for average. Now see how our heading is only till column J. If we've added this column, ideally we should extend this to K. So what we can do is we can select this area, click on Format Painter, and now we can select the whole range up to K, and again merge and center. Let's go back one step and Format Painter, and we can have the colors on column K as well. So this Format Painter function, what it does is it applies the same formatting for any other cell based on the previous cell that you have selected. So if we wanted to have the same formatting on this cell, all we do is we select this area first, click on Format Painter, and then we select this area to apply the same formatting. Now under average, once again we go to the auto sum symbol, and here we'll find the average function. What you need to be careful when you do the averages is the average is of the sales of each of these months. It is not of the total, but automatically the average selects the total column as well. What we need to do is we need to get rid of the total column. So remove the total from your selection, so it becomes C7 to I7 instead of C7 to J7. Once you've done that, press Ctrl Enter again, and now you can again use the fill handle to drag down and find out the averages for all the products. Now the next function that we're going to use is called round. What the round function does is it rounds up the number to either nearest decimal places, or to the nearest $10, or to the nearest $100, or to the nearest $1,000. In this case, we are going to round it off to the nearest $10. Now, if you wanted to round it off to no decimal, you use 0. Okay, let me go into the function fx, type round, and OK. The number that we are rounding off is on C24. If you round it off to no decimal, you press 0. So see what it becomes, 6017. If you want to round it off to one decimal, you press 1. So it becomes 6016.7. If you want to round it off to two decimals, you press 2. It becomes 6016.70. If you wanted to round it off to nearest $10, we do -1. So it becomes 6020. Likewise, if you wanted to round it off to nearest $100, you would do -2. So it becomes 6000. But in this case, we will stick to nearest $10, which is -1, and press OK. And drag it across. And we can also bold this. The next function we're going to use is the count function. Now, what we are counting is how many products are there in Hardware House Pty Limited. To do this function, once again, click on fx, which is the function for all functions, and select count from the list. If you don't find count on your list, just type count here, press go, and you will find the count function, and press OK. Now the selection that we need to use is A7 to A22, because that's how many products we've got with those product codes. So select A7 to A22 and press OK. So what this has done is it has told you that you've got 16 products that Hardware House Pty Limited sells. Okay,